Hey everyone! Today we're talking about Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher who basically invented Western philosophy, political science, and the concept of soulmates. Oh, and also the friend zone. You've probably heard of platonic relationships. You know, when someone says we're just friends and your heart breaks into a million pieces? Yeah, that's named after this guy. But Plato did way more than ruin your dating life. He's the reason we have universities, the reason we debate about justice and truth, and honestly, the reason philosophy professors still have jobs 2,400 years later. So let's meet the man who looked at reality and said, yeah, but what if none of this is real? Plato was born around 428 BCE in Athens, ancient Greece's equivalent of New York City. And get this, he came from money. We're talking old money, aristocratic. My ancestors founded this city level wealthy. His real name was actually Aristocles, but everyone called him Plato, which might have meant broad, possibly because he had broad shoulders from wrestling. That's right, our boy was a jock philosopher. Young Plato had big plans. He wanted to go into politics, follow in his family's footsteps, become a big shot in Athens. But then he met this weird barefoot guy named Socrates, who walked around asking annoying questions and making everyone look stupid. Socrates basically did to Plato what the Matrix did to Neo, completely shattered his understanding of reality. Plato became Socrates' student and fanboy. He was so devoted that when Athens executed Socrates in 399 BCE for corrupting the youth, basically for being too good at arguing, Plato was devastated. That tragedy changed everything. Plato thought, if Athens can kill the wisest man alive, this whole democracy thing might be broken. So he decided to dedicate his life to figuring out the perfect society and the nature of reality itself. No pressure. Around 387 BC, Plato founded the Academy in Athens, basically the world's first university. It lasted for 900 years. That's longer than Harvard, Oxford, and your attention span combined. Students studied math, astronomy, philosophy, and how to argue about literally everything. Now let's talk about Plato's greatest hits. The Allegory of the Cave. This is Plato's mic drop moment. Imagine people chained in a cave since birth, facing a wall. Behind them is a fire, and people walk by carrying objects that cast shadows on the wall. The prisoners think these shadows are reality. They've never seen anything else. Now imagine one prisoner escapes, sees the real world and the actual sun, and realizes everything he knew was fake. Mind, blown. He goes back to tell his friends and they think he's crazy. They're like, dude, shadows are reality. You've lost it. This is Plato saying, what if our world is like those shadows? What if everything we see is just a cheap copy of true reality? The real stuff, perfect circles, perfect justice, perfect beauty, exists in a realm of forms or ideas that we can only access through reason and philosophy. Basically, Plato invented the Matrix 2,400 years before the Wachowskis. Plato said everything in our world is just an imperfect copy of a perfect form. You've never seen a perfect circle in real life. Every circle you draw has tiny imperfections. But you know what a perfect circle is, right? That perfect circle exists in the realm of forms. Same with justice, beauty, goodness. The perfect versions exist somewhere beyond our reality. This is either profound philosophy, or Plato was the first person to discover Photoshop's idealized beauty problem. You decide. In his book, The Republic, Plato designed his ideal society, and surprise, it's run by philosophers. Specifically, philosopher kings, people who understand the forms and can therefore rule wisely. His logic: would you let someone who doesn't know how to sail captain a ship? No. So why do we let people who don't understand justice run our government? Fair point, Plato. Fair point. He also proposed that society should be divided into three classes: the rulers, philosophers, the warriors, military, and the producers, everyone else doing actual work. Each person does what they're naturally suited for. It's basically the ancient Greek version of those personality tests that tell you what Hogwarts house you belong to. Plato said your soul has three parts: reason, your logical brain; spirit, your emotions and willpower; appetite, your desires, food, sex, that third slice of pizza. A good life means reason is in charge, spirit backs it up, and appetite doesn't run wild. It's like your brain is a chariot pulled by two horses, one noble, one wild, and reason is trying to steer. Anyone who's tried to diet knows this struggle is real. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room: platonic love. In Plato's Symposium, he explores different types of love. The highest form? Love of wisdom and beauty in their pure forms, not physical attraction. It's about loving someone's soul and mind, transcending the physical. So when someone friend zones you and says, "I love you platonically," they're literally saying, "I appreciate your soul, but not your body." Thanks, Plato. Thanks a lot. But actually, Plato thought this was the highest form of love, the one that makes us better people and brings us closer to understanding truth. Physical attraction fades. Wisdom is forever. He wasn't wrong, but it's still rough when you're 16 and someone drops the P word on you. So why does a guy who died in 348 BC still matter? Modern democracy. Every debate about justice, equality, and good government echoes Plato's questions. When we argue about who should lead or what makes a society just, we're having conversations Plato started. Education. The idea that education should develop your mind and character, not just teach you job skills? That's Plato. Universities as places of dialogue and debate? Plato. The Socratic method of teaching through questions? Well, that's technically Socrates, but Plato wrote it all down. Philosophy and science. Plato's student was Aristotle, who taught Alexander the Great, who conquered the known world and spread Greek ideas everywhere. The entire Western intellectual tradition flows through Plato. As philosopher Alfred North Whitehead said, all of Western philosophy is just footnotes to Plato. Pop culture, every movie about the real world being fake, Matrix, Inception, Truman Show, is basically the cave allegory with better special effects. So that's Plato, the trust fund wrestler turned philosopher who looked at reality and said, "I think we can do better." He gave us the blueprint for Western thought, invented higher education, and accidentally created the friend zone. Not bad for a guy who spent his life thinking about invisible perfect circles. If you enjoyed this trip to ancient Greece, smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. If you were stuck in Plato's cave, would you want to escape, or is ignorance actually bliss? Thanks for watching, you beautiful forms of consciousness.